welcome to a brand new episode of Sequel Rights, the podcast where we take a look at the franchises that make you go, they made how many of those? And we give each and every sequel a fair trial. My name is Justin Camps, and I'm here with...
Tyler Hymanson.
And...
Elizabeth Helly.
And welcome to a brand new episode of Sequel Rights, the podcast where we take a look at the... I'm kidding.
We're stuck in Eliz.
Oh my god, we're in a time
We just
loop.
saw Happy Death Day last night, so I think Justin was inspired.
I'm just in that kind of like Groundhog Day mood right now.
I'm jealous.
It was a fun movie. You guys should see it. But you know what? Enough about Happy Death Day. Today we're talking about Open Water 2, Adrift.
Yes, we are.
And man, this is a movie about open water.
It absolutely is.
So you know what? Let's just skip right past all this lovely pre-talk, get right into the trailer.
Hi guys. Do you think we're gonna know each other forever? Seriously? You guys are my best friends. Where are we, by the way? Does anybody know?
Hi, who's this?
Sarah. Party time, people!
I would like to propose a toast. Zach. Happy birthday, old man. Who's next?
I'm hot. I want to go swimming.
You boys want to take a dip?
Oh god, no, please just put me down. Where's the ladder?
All right, let's give a quick rundown of the plot here. Super simple. A bunch of friends that have been friends forever. They reunite for their friend's birthday and go on a boating trip where they proceed to jump off the side of the boat and forget to put the ladder down, and they get stuck in open water. That's pretty much it.
Yeah.
So,
And that's our episode, everyone.
so I guess off the bat, I knew of this movie. I had my 21st birthday at a bar called the Redwood. It's a pirate bar downtown Los Angeles.
Great bar.
And this was the movie that ended up being on in the background. And right around like halfway through the movie, my friend's sitting there, and I'm like, "Hey, what's going on?" He's like, "I think that this movie is about a bunch of people. They're on a boat and they didn't put the ladder down." And it's my 21st birthday, and I'm like, "That's dumb. Like come drink with us." And he's like, "No, I'm kind of transfixed by this right now." And then it kind of just ended up as like being like, "What? Like, what are they doing with that knife? Like, what? Like, what are they doing? Like, what's happening?" And we, it was a very fond memory, hazy memory, of all of us watching this movie at this bar. And that is the only knowledge of the open water, series that I had up until we started doing this franchise.
Yeah, so that's hilarious.
And I remember it fondly, but it's I'm just like, I think they didn't put the ladder down.
So I know it's so stupid. So I had seen this movie,
Yeah.
And the funny thing is, so I had seen it, but I didn't really remember all the specifics. And obviously, we just talked about Open Water, very famously based on true events, very realistic story. This film starts up in the very beginning. It's like based on actual events, and me sitting there going like, "Wait a minute." I know that the reason they're stuck in the water is because they didn't put the fucking ladder down. You're telling me someone in real life didn't put the ladder down and then went and said, "Yeah, I survived, but all my friends died because I didn't put the ladder down." But I was able to get a.
Well, they didn't survive in the last
on.
movie. It's just like, oh, like all these. I'm not saying it happened.
Okay, but I'm saying like,
but Justin, you know it's a true story because it starts with DV footage in a 4:3 format.
No,
Look it's fun times. Somebody belches, so you know it's real. It's teens acting like teens.
I was like, oh great, another like regular old found footage, kind of setup for a film. And then I just like who survived to tell this tale.
Nobody survived to tell the tale.
Tell the tale of stupidity.
We don't even know. We'll find out.
But in the last one, it was like a major news story because people like you could get more of like what happened. The whole thing was like, okay, obviously the reason that they were stuck was because they miscounted the roll.
Yeah.
But in this one, someone would have had to be like, it's because we didn't put the ladder down. Whoopsie daisy.
Obviously, the baby grew up to tell the story.
Yes.
I mean, do you want to get into this true story stuff right now? Because
No.
I was so angry that
Let's do it.
Okay, fine.
Okay, I started digging real deep into this situation. And so
How many
last
fathoms?
time...
Yeah, did you find anything? Because I tried to look and I couldn't find
Okay,
anything.
so last time I was like annoyed because it said based on actual events, and it was really just the fact that 2 people got left behind. That was the actual event, and everything
Based
else
on
was
an
made up.
LA Times
So the
news
way
story.
that this works is, so just to an analogy to the first series we did, American Tail, that one could say based on actual events, and it would be like, well, immigration existed. So
I
like
guess.
that's the level of actual events that we're talking about here. So I did a lot of Googling and eventually found that the plot is somewhat based on a short story called Adrift that is part of Koji Suzuki's water-themed horror short story anthology called Dark Water. Also, the movie Dark Water came from the same anthology.
Okay, well, now I want to read this.
But so, and then I tried to figure out what the actual his story called Adrift. The point of that story is that a boat finds another boat that's deserted, and a guy goes on it, and spooky things happen.
Wow,
and there's
that
like a curse. So
sounds
that's
nothing.
the little nugget that did. And then both. So Koji Suzuki's story is apparently loosely based on this famous boat that was found abandoned called the Mary Celeste in 1872. And so they're saying that all these things take inspiration from that because it was a boat that was found with no people in it. And so they're like, oh, so it's based on that.
Okay.
Also, like Ghost Ship or any of those other movies are supposedly based on that.
Yeah.
What about Dead Calm?
Based on
Do you guys
actual
know about
events.
Dead Calm?
No,
No.
It's like Sam Neill and Billy Zane.
Is there a sequel?
No.
Oh, then I don't
Then
know.
we don't. Then who gives a shit?
Then I continued Googling. Turns out there are people that actually forget to put the ladder down, but they were saved. There was like stories on Reddit of people admitting that they did it.
I'm a dummy.
And then, so then I found an article about 2005. This movie came out in 2006, we should say, by the way. So there's a 2005 episode of King of the Hill called Hank's on Board, where the King of the Hill guys do the exact same thing and they forget their ladder. It came out and it's like the exact same story. And so this person was all freaked out, and then they did even more research, and it turned like through some other posts, I found out that the story from Adrift, Open Water 2, might be based on this German book called... Justin's gonna pronounce it right now.
Oh, it's apologies
I
for
wrote it
my
down.
German. It's called Jagdunfälle und wie man sie vermeiden kann.
Yeah. So yacht accidents and how to avoid them. After a lot of Google Translate, then I figured out that this also has a lot of like dramatic stories of actual things. And so then I think there's a summary, some guy's post who actually read the German and posted what it is, but we can't confirm this. But
Let's see here.
it was on the Straight Dope message boards.
Oh, it says, as far as I know, the Open Water 2 premise is based on an actual accident, which happened sometime in the 1970s in the Adriatic. I read it in this book, IIRRC, whatever that means. The book said a sailboat was found drifting and the naked bodies of the crew in its vicinity. The eventual verdict being that it happened that way. All gone for a swim, ladder not put down, attempt to make rope out of bathing suit trunks failed, and that the insurance company inclined to disbelieve that did a reconstruction with water polo players who could not make it onto the boat either.
So that was my favorite part of the discovery. That apparently the insurance claim for this was like, no, that's so stupid. It could never possibly happen. So they put water polo players
That's
out
insane.
on a boat.
Which, if they can't do it, then nobody can.
Yeah.
Those water
Water
polo,
polo.
they got ups.
It's true. And then I got even more happy because I thought I found the real story it was based on, and I started reading all these articles about it, and then I found out that story happened in 2008.
Oh,
so I was
no!
like, no! So apparently there's some guys in Australia that actually did, like, one of them fell off the boat, and another one tried to help him, and then the third guy ended up jumping off, and nobody put the
God.
ladder down, and
I feel
the boat
like
was
it's
found
a thing.
abandoned.
I feel like that it's not. It's one of the. It kind of gets back to the indifferent universe thing that we're talking about in the first open water of that civilization's around, and like it's a dumbass mistake.
Yeah.
But I feel like it's totally plausible. It's not like oh, like I could see it happening, and the way that the movie sets it up that it happens actually makes sense.
Yeah, the way that they set it up, yes. But then everything else that happens, no.
Yeah.
So
I think this movie actually might be about a super virulent strain of the dumb fucks.
yeah.
I think Dan is patient zero of the dumb fuck virus.
Can we just say right off the bat that this film is totally different than
Right.
Open Water?
Where in open water, we said the most scary thing about it is that they never fucked up. They never made a
they
mistake.
did everything right.
That and there's entirely a sense of realism throughout that film that this one is totally lacking in my
This
opinion.
one's not scary because these people literally do everything wrong.
For this film, I feel like the studio executives were like, all right, we got this Open Water that did really well, right, you guys? And they're like, yeah, did good. And then the guy's like, but, that movie was kind of more of an experience. Like, sure, it was a film, but like, it kind of put you in an experience. This time, why don't we make a fucking movie out of it? Like, I want to make a movie. And they're like, ooh, yeah. What does the movie have in it? Does the movie have flashbacks? Does the movie have backstory? And they all started, like, jerking off, like, movie! I want to make a movie this time! It's got music in it? Like, like pop songs? Yeah!
And there's a baby.
Don't forget, you guys never forget. There's a baby on this boat.
The baby is like the most horrifying part of this movie.
This movie tries incessantly. It's like, you know what? All these characters suck, but don't forget, there's an innocent life.
There's there's just...
That's the only reason you care about any of this, is that baby. Like, those people all deserve to die, but the baby didn't. So that's why I wanted someone to survive.
I think what I'm trying to say is, like, even though Open Water, the original film, wasn't a found footage movie per se, the way it was shot and the like quality of the film and everything kind of gives you the feeling like we said in the last episode, that you're like possibly watching home movies. And this film is like very clearly a film from the get-go. It has people that you're like, oh, didn't that guy audition for Grey's Anatomy?
Yeah.
I think all these people almost were on Grey's. And then you look up and see that the one guy is on Grey's Anatomy, Eric Dane.
Yeah, that's McSteamy. Everybody knows that. So
I know, I'm just saying.
I just learned that this morning.
Tyler earlier was like, oh, there weren't any big people in this movie, right?
Yeah,
and I'm
McSteamy.
like, there's at least two. Yeah.
Who's the other one?
That Richard Spite Jr. has been in
he?
a bunch of things.
Oh. And then one of the girls has done like every video game voice.
And
ever.
Cameron Richardson was in like Pleasure Island. And
She's
all
the
that stuff.
with, and Eric Dane is the and.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So they were hot shots at the time.
Yeah. I looked it up, and I think that maybe Eric Dane filmed this before he went on Grey's, and then went on Grey's, and this movie came out after, and like tried to capitalize upon that because he started on Grey's in 2005. So
I actually don't, and maybe I'm gonna upset both of you at this point. I don't hate this as an escalation sequel premise.
Okay.
I mean, like, if you have to make if you're making the choice to make a sequel from Open Water, right?
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, well, we're gonna kill more people.
Right.
And like as Eliz says in the last episode, it's like there's gonna be younger. There's gonna be more sexy people,
More bikinis. Yeah.
There's actually less nudity.
There's gonna be
in this
less
movie.
nudity.
Even though like all of them do get naked, you
yeah.
just don't see as much.
There's actually less nudity in this movie.
Less nudity. No sharks.
No sharks.
Yeah,
More stupidity.
That
though.
is
the stupidity
probably
level is ratcheted
the
way
most
high.
annoying thing is that there's no sharks. No sharks in the whole movie.
I don't find that annoying at all.
Oh my God.
I think that's awesome.
I didn't think it was awesome, but I didn't
It's
find
a
it
slap
annoying.
in the face, probably, to everybody that wants to see it.
Why is it a slap in the face?
Because the sharks, like, and they try
Well-
to make you think that there's sharks so many times. If there was no sharks, fine. But at some point, the girl's like, somebody just hit my leg. And then every time that somebody gets cut, they purposely show the blood in the water, like it's about to escalate and this is going to bring the sharks. And it never does. It's just trying to manipulate you
That's
into
true.
thinking the sharks are coming.
But this is coming from you, who I don't know if you said in the last episode, but thought of Open Water as that shark film.
Yeah.
No, it doesn't have anything to do with that.
The first movie, though. Before you knew what it was. You
thought
thought it was
you
a
thought
shark
they were
movie.
shark movies.
No, because you said we were doing Open Water, and I got it confused with whatever that one with Blake Lively was.
The Shallows.
Oh,
Yeah. So that's all. I don't know any of
Shallow
them are about.
water.
But
Shallow
that's fine.
water.
Like, even if you weren't expecting sharks, that's fine if there's no sharks. But then don't try to tease the sharks 80 times throughout the movie.
But here's the thing. Like, if you're in that situation and you're bleeding, like, you're absolutely terrified about sharks. Like, that's a legitimate fear. The fact they don't come, ocean's big.
Yeah. Or you might be preoccupied with your baby.
You might have a baby. You might be preoccupied convincing your friends that you're a fake millionaire.
Yeah.
and to the point where you stab your friend to death.
Oh my God. Okay.
That's the thing that might happen.
Yeah, we should.
But okay, so we should get into who these characters are. And
No, we really shouldn't. We should just say what happened.
Yeah, I don't even know.
we should.
Okay, I
fine, you
don't
do it,
really
right?
care about it. I know that you're like, this is my favorite movie. But
I didn't say that.
you're about to say it. I can see it in your eyes. But I thought this movie's terrible. And it's full of stupid tropes and dumb shit.
Yeah.
It's basically 3 couples.
Okay, we can skip it.
I mean, what does Dan feel? What does he do in the morning? What's his morning routine?
Dan sucks. So Dan is their
That's McSteamy.
okay.
Steamy.
Dan is the person who they're throwing the birthday party for their other friend.
Zach.
His name is Zach.
You don't even know their names? I thought you loved this movie.
I don't.
Oh my God. What?
And so they show up, and the main girl, forget her name too. Amy, she's terrified of water, as we know.
What's
through
the baby's name?
The baby's name is Baby.
No. What is?
Rebecca.
No.
Steven.
It's a girl. Her name is Sarah.
Sarah.
And she has a personality. And she's in danger this entire film. Okay, go on.
Okay, so we get like the only bone that they throw to the DV digital video type feel from Open Water. The first one is this weird like home movies thing where you kind of get all of their personalities of a friend group. Dan's the fuck up, like Zach's the mysterious dude. Amy was Dan's boyfriend at the time?
Girlfriend.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
It started out as 2 couples.
Stop making these gender
Look,
normative.
in college,
She could have been him for her.
And Dan's like, are we going to be friends forever?
it was 4 friends that were 2 couples. One of the chicks ended up marrying another guy, and the other guy is now the guy who got dumped is dating some super, super young girl that he also brings on the boat. So
He
now you've got
met her 2 weeks ago.
So now you got 6 people and a baby.
Yeah.
6 people and a baby.
What?
It's like the sequel to 3 Men and a Baby.
Yeah.
Oh,
6
God.
people and a baby. And yeah, so Amy's terrified of the water. We see in a flashback that her dad drowned while they were like playing
A flashback.
a flashback where they're playing on a paddle boat and like a
That was the dumbest shit.
but basically
She failed to save him. She failed. It's
hot
her
tip.
fault that he's dead.
Hot tip: if you're terrified of the ocean, don't
Don't
go to
go on
your
a boat.
friend. Don't go to your friend's
Yeah.
30th boat birthday.
And don't wear a giant life jacket to hide your monstrous boobs. as she says.
She's very self-conscious about being scared of the water, and she's wearing a life jacket, and the dumb bimbo girl that Dan's dating is like, what's with the life jacket? She's like, it's just trying to hide my monster boobs. And it's like the movie is ashamed of itself.
Yeah.
She's breastfeeding. That's, yeah.
Yeah, I guess
case that's not
that was
obvious.
totally the joke.
That's why she said it.
Can we talk about this flashback for a second?
Yeah, absolutely.
So the flashback is used multiple times in the film.
It is.
Yeah, it is.
And like each
And in the conclusion, which
Yes.
I would say is ambiguous.
yeah, we'll get to that. So in the flashback, I feel like you see a little bit more every time it comes back. But I think maybe the second time they show it, you see why she's afraid of the water, because her dad, I guess, drowned. But like they
Did you
don't
just like have a heart attack? And
Yeah,
then,
okay, I was gonna say I think he has a heart attack, but the first time they show it, it just looks like
he disappears. He was just like, bye.
it looks like he was like
I'm gonna go hang with the eel. I'm gonna go hang with that eel down there. Fuck you, Amy.
it looked like he was like holding her up, going like on the surface, and like he did that for too long and drowned.
And then the last time, like she's like pulling his hair, like come up for air.
And then not till the very end of the movie, you see him like clutching his chest underwater, and you're like, oh, he didn't just drown because he was trying to have too much fun.
Yeah.
He had a heart attack.
We used to play this game with my dad at like public pools. It was called Whale, and it was like he would just go underwater, and me and my brother would just try to hold him underwater.
That's messed up. See, you could have been having the same flashback.
Yeah, exactly.
Papa!
I think that the Papa! I want to go see the fish!
Let me grab your necklace!
Oh, God.
Jesus.
Some of these characters, they're all stilted stereotypes.
Which one's your favorite character?
My favorite character
By name.
is
I don't remember.
what's her face, who I'm not gonna die treading water.
Oh, yeah. What was her name
Oh
again?
God, I don't remember. I could never remember. In my notes, I was like third girl. I couldn't remember
so
her
the
name.
the other girl who doesn't have a baby and is not a bimbo, she is like a doctor, medical professional of some type, because every time someone gets hurt, they like ask her.
She can
opinion.
immediately diagnose head fractures.
Yeah, she can.
Skull fracture.
Yeah. So a bunch of stupid things happen. They
Okay. So
they make so many mistakes.
It's a dumb birthday party, right? And then they're all just chilling on the boat, and then they all decide to go swimming. Amy is terrified of going in the water, and then you get this moment where Dan is like kind of not making moves, but like he's conveying that like he missed an opportunity, that like he understands that Amy was really important to him, and there's it's an emotional moment that you don't actually get in movies like this. It actually plays pretty well. And then
it does not.
Because it's a movie.
We need Ron Howard's.
It
didn't. Yeah.
Well, I can appreciate them giving character reasons to why they're still on the boat and why he does what he does. So they get back up top. She's still wearing like the life jacket, and he's like, "Well, the best way to face your fears is just to face them." So while everyone's already off the boat, he, in the spur of the moment, just picks her up and then jumps off the boat with her.
While she's screaming bloody murder.
While she's
saying, "Put me down, don't do it."
She had issue walking the gangplank, getting up to the boat. Like, she is legitimately terrified of the water.
Mm-hmm.
She never should have got on the boat in the first place.
No.
But so that's what kind of gets everyone in this predicament, is Dan's opining for his lost love.
Yeah. So now everyone's in the water. No ladder.
The first thing they're like, oh my God, because she gets in the water and immediately is like in a catatonic shock
she goes catatonic
state.
Yeah, well, yeah, it cuts to a flashback, and then she's catatonic.
And you hear everybody in the background like, let's get her back on the boat. Where's the ladder? I don't know. It must be on the other side of the boat. Nope, it's not over there. Dad, did you put down the ladder? I don't know. Is there a ladder on this boat? I don't know. It's your boat, right? Yeah, it's totally my boat. Don't ask me 30 minutes from now if it's my boat. It's definitely my boat.
He's like, he says something like I buy, like, if it looks pretty, I fucking buy it.
Yeah.
Dan.
If it looks expensive, I buy it.
Yeah.
So, but the good thing is that she has a life jacket and nobody else has any flotation.
Yeah.
There's a plastic dolphin that quickly is popped, but other than that...
God, that was hilarious.
So unlike the people in the first open water, these people have to tread water or just float the entire time, which is really difficult.
There's
it is not.
Very...
You just float.
Yeah, but then they would have just like drifted away.
That's true. There's very early on when they're in the water, there's like, I don't know, 3 scenes in a row where they're like, where everyone's like, they're trying to figure out like what their split second like thoughts of how to get back on the boat. And one of them is to use this inflatable dolphin to like prop themselves up on. And the whole time, I think it's Dan doing it or whatever, but all the guys around him are like, yeah, bro, you got this. You got this, dog.
Bro.
Yeah, do this, bro. You got this. Yeah, oh, no. Oh, you didn't make it. Oh, do it again, bro. You got this, dog. Bro.
Which is, using the dolphin's not a bad idea.
No, and then they pop the dolphin, and Michelle's like, why? And then they go around to the back, and he's like, I know who can save me. America.
There's an American flag off the back of the boat.
And then, like, they're like, what are you doing over there, Dan? And he's like, I'm going to try to use the flag to get up. And he's like, oh, you can totally reach that, bro.
Yeah.
And there's an amazing shot of, which I took a video of him, like, jumping up to grab it. Yeah. And he's like, get it. And then it, like, rips
the flag.
And as he swims away, he's like, I don't deserve this.
And then Zach shoves the flag down the front of his pants.
Yeah.
Because you need those linens.
I just love that they were just like, you got this, bro, do it,
bro. It is a very San Diego. The boat is the Godspeed out of San Diego, and it shows in the movie. The Godspeed.
At no point did they ever go on each other's shoulders or try to throw anyone up.
Nope.
They never tried that at all.
That's very difficult to do when you're treading water.
Yeah.
People play chicken all the time, and like
you're standing at the bottom of it. You stand on the pool.
They do?
Yes.
They don't do it in deeper water ever?
No, I don't think that's very safe.
I still think they should have...
No, you can't.
I still think they should have tried to throw one of the girls, like, up. Like a cheerleading thing. Put one on your shoulders.
I don't know if
you can't tread water that
they would
have.
They would have to have really strong
you
legs.
Can't.
Yeah. I think it would have been really tough. Because like
at least
the water polo players from the insurance company couldn't do it.
Yeah, wouldn't you at least try to do that? Like
you might try. But even there's a scene where like for 1 second Michelle or somebody is trying to like hold on to Dan and he's like, get the fuck off me, I can't swim. So like if someone is on top of you, that's when you have a heart attack underwater and die and ruin your child's life.
The fact that they never even tried pushing each other up is just ludicrous.
You know what they did try?
They did do that.
Everybody get naked.
Yeah.
Tie your bathing suits into a...
But really, really late in the game. Like, way later than you would have think.
But it happened early enough that, like, half the movie I was like... during all those ridiculous scenes, I kept thinking, they're naked during this.
They are naked.
They're naked, like, almost
But they weren't even fully naked.
Everyone was except for
the
Amy.
girl.
She took her dress off, but she still had her bra and underwear.
Yeah, but the guys were totes.
The guy and the girls were naked too.
Yeah. Oh my gosh! So the rope
you guys are
of
so exasperated.
This movie,
the rope of clothing and half of an American flag does not work either. Because
the rope of clothing made no sense.
They got pretty close. Why would it make no sense?
They just flipped it over the edge and like, what is it even caught on?
The railing.
No.
They only tried it once. He almost got to the top, but yet they only tried it one time.
All they did was get the rope, like, of clothing flipped over the edge, and there's no way that would have hooked enough to support a human being.
If you put something heavy on the end, then it would.
They didn't have anything heavy on the end, though.
It was nothing.
They made like a clump on the end and threw it over, and then he climbed and he was reaching the boat, but he couldn't grab onto it.
Nope, that didn't make any sense.
That definitely happened.
I know, but it would not have supported a human being.
Yeah, it would have.
Trust me, right, Tyler? You know about ropes.
I know about ropes. I know about semen.
But the stupidest thing is that they only tried the rope thing one time, and then they just let the rope go. They didn't even bother trying to keep it.
There's a lot in this movie of people getting frustrated and then throwing away the only tools that they have available.
Oh yeah, at some point a jacket.
The movie does everything is like all right, I got 2 masks, a knife, and this dolphin. Like, here's everything that we got, and then like very, very quickly it's just like, oh well, nope, like fuck that, like that's gone. Like, so at one point there's a cell phone that rings.
Conveniently.
And they're able to reach the coat that it's in.
The jacket sleeve has been blown over the edge of the boat.
At this point, what's her face?
Michelle.
Michelle is freaking the fuck out. And
She got annoying real fast.
She got annoying real fast. She was like the bimbo girlfriend and then got really, really scared.
Oh, at one point they have a debate about the existence of God and his intentions.
Guess what? The movie, the end of the movie tries to deliver on that debate.
I don't know about that.
I didn't even make that connection.
I would not. Yeah, I didn't even think about that either. I know what you're trying to say, but that
absolutely does.
But the stupidity of it did not bring it to that level to me.
At all.
I was just like, someone fucked up this movie.
Yeah.
That's my thought. Anyways, go on.
I forgot what I was saying.
She has a panic attack at some point.
Oh, yeah. She's having a panic attack the whole time. Like, she becomes, like, she's the bimbo character, and then she basically becomes the antagonist of the entire group, because she's not part of the friends, and so she's freaking out. She's, like, trying to take the life vest away from Amy. She's the one who's just panicking and saying, we're gonna die, we're gonna die, we're gonna die, and is the main thing that they have to deal with out there for 20 minutes in the movie until she passes away.
She's the first one to die, too.
Yeah.
And she just swims off and dies.
She kills herself, basically.
Yeah.
I don't think she killed herself.
I think she did. She just went out there.
I think what happens is that there was a cut of the movie they're like, she's real fucking annoying, and then I think she might have died a different way.
Yeah.
But, like, it's just cuts to like, no, she's dead now.
I love her scene because, like, they're all of a sudden like, where's Michelle? You see her swim off and they're like, oh my god, where'd Michelle go? And Dan is like, oh shit, I'm gonna go swim after her. And he swims after her and he sees that she's like drowning or has drowned and is like sinking down into the ocean, right? And he dives down, totally naked.
Yeah.
Dives
you can probably
down.
see his butthole if you zoom in.
You want to see Eric Dane's butthole? Pause it at 1 minute,
McSteamy.
5 seconds. No. Anyways, he dives down, and the way the movie is cut, it looks like he gets literally like one arm stroke away from grabbing her body, and he just goes, nope,
never mind.
I don't have enough air for this, I guess.
I think he sees that she's already fully dead, and it's just like, eh.
Yeah,
You can't see that.
But the way the film is cut, it just looks like he was like, he was trying so hard, he's almost there, he's about to touch her, and he goes, oh no, never mind.
You know, it'll be better
I mean,
for
her
everybody.
eyes
She
were...
probably has
yeah. But, like, even if he had managed to pull her up, like, it's not like they can give her CPR. They have no hard surfaces. So,
I'm just saying it was...
He could have got it out.
It was cut really terribly. It looks like he was like, I'm going to save you. No, never mind. Nope. Giving up.
So, the phone rings. There's a panic about the phone, and the dude who gets the phone call.
This is before she dies.
Yeah.
So, like, she freaks out, and then she's, like, trying to grab the phone from him, and this is one of those things where you're like, stop being so stupid.
That's what I'm saying. They're all being dumb.
Well, she's trying to say help, help, and the guy's trying to be like, wait till they can hear me. And then I'm
but
gonna explain.
everyone's trying to grab at the phone and causing him to put it in the water.
And then it gets a little bit wet, and then he gets frustrated and throws it super far away. Yeah. Which it would have been really good to put on the end of the clothing rope to hook around.
So the movie does an interesting thing of, like, passing the blame, right? Because, like, everybody, like, so Dan makes the initial mistake of not putting the ladder down. And then they start blaming Zach for throwing the phone away. And so, like, the way that everyone starts mistrusting each other is...
Are you going to say good? Don't say good.
No, I wasn't going to say
genius. Is what you're going to say.
No, it's just that they start mistrusting each other because, like, everything that they do, they start blaming each other for the predicament that they're in. I mean, every small choice.
Anyone would do that, though. That happened in the other movie, too.
Yes.
Oh, okay. So,
what other dumb stuff happens in this film?
Amy's husband tries to go see if there's, like, a
This
secret...
isn't a fair trial.
Hey, we give it...
You say it in the opening, and you're just like, this is some dumb bullshit, whatever.
Fair enough. But
we gave it a fair trial. We watched it.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I was like, I think just watching it and talking about it is fair court enough.
Yeah.
And now we get to...
You've clearly been bribed by Hans Hole, the director.
We get to prosecute, and you can be the defendant.
And I'm not even saying it's good.
Where's the gavel? No one's banged the gavel yet. Are we getting out of control?
Oh, God. So... Amy's husband tries to go look for, like, a secret trapdoor on the bottom of the boat.
Slippin' Jimmy.
Slippin' Jimmy.
So he takes the knife and swims underneath the boat, drops the knife, goes to get it. He actually does get it, but then when he comes, he floats up and hits his head on the
So
boat
stupid.
and cracks his skull. And so he actually does make it back to them with his cracked skull, and he's kind of just like in a weird like state for the rest of the movie.
This is something I don't think is incredibly dumb. Like, you're coming up, you can't breathe. Like, that's something that could happen.
Yeah, it wasn't the dumbest one.
Like that. Like it's not like that's such bullshit. It's just like, yeah, like he dove down, he dove too far to get the knife, and then he's just struggling to get air at that point, and he's underneath the boat, and he hits his head because he's just trying to survive.
During that moment in the film, I was hoping, and I think it might have actually played better than the melodrama that continues afterwards, is if I thought like he hit his head and then he got knocked out and would just drown.
Yeah, I thought he was going to die.
And
but
then
he comes
Amy
back.
would freak out.
And then they would have never known, like he would have just drowned and drifted away, and they'd be like, where'd he go? We never knew.
Yeah.
And I thought that was more interesting, but instead we get like,
semi-comatose
the other girl
version of
looks
him.
at him for 2 seconds and goes, he's got a skull fracture for sure.
and then he like has brain damage to the point where he can still give Dan shit and like fight him.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's a little bit, whatever.
He's off.
Yeah.
I think they were like, wait, we already killed Michelle that way.
He really did save the knife. So then the other guy, Zach, gets the knife, and he sees like a little panel that's a little bit loose on the boat. So he decides to start trying to cut at it with the knife or stab the knife into the side of the boat to make a hold so they can climb up or whatever. And then I can't even explain this.
Which is something that ends up working later in the movie. But Dan is like, oh no, like material goods, and fights him.
My boat!
And stops him from doing that, and then
he doesn't want the boat to be damaged.
Yeah, and then Zach ends up with a knife in his chest.
And then in an M. Night Shyamalan style twist, we find out he was so upset about the knife because it's not even Dan's boat to begin with.
Not Penny's boat.
It's a ghost boat.
It's a ghost boat? No, yeah, so yeah, Dan is basically a fraud. He's not successful. He lies to girls. He's a piece of shit.
Yeah.
And Zach has died at this point.
He totally dies real quick.
Yeah, he gets
Not
stabbed.
before professing his love to the other girl.
We can't remember her name, but she's probably,
I think her name was Lauren.
She's the most savvy person in the crew.
But when she lets her husband's dead body go, she lets him go with the clothes rope around his neck. Like, why would they do that? They should be trying to keep as much material as possible for possible utility. But she just lets him float away,
wasn't her
and
husband,
or her boyfriend. He still has the clothes rope on him like a scarf, and he just floats away.
Yeah.
Why?
I don't know.
I mean, then so what she does after that is just, I'm going to swim for shore.
Wait, what
Which
about
was
the
another-
confession?
We said that.
We already talked about the...
Oh, I thought you were going to talk about it more.
No, there's nothing more to say.
I just want to say that even though I enjoyed McSteamy's performance in Grey's Anatomy, in this movie he is not great. Especially during this confession. He starts crying, basically, and it's really, really bad fake crying. It's so bad that, like, later on in the crying scene, they decide to just cut out the audio entirely, play music over it, and just cut to like different shots of him like in distress fake crying, because they're like, you know what, the dialogue is not working, let's just cut to loud orchestral music.
Basically, he kills everybody on this trip. Like, his choices make it so that everybody dies.
He either kills them or they kill themselves.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Because of shit that he does.
I mean, yeah, true. Jimmy kills himself with a head fracture.
Well, no, he asked Dan, he was just like, is there anything underneath your boat? Like, blah, blah, blah.
He's like, how should I know?
How should I know? Like, I just bought it. Like, and he's like, you don't know anything about your boat? Like, and he's just like, I don't have the answer for you. Like, I don't know what the fuck you want. And so he's like, oh, I guess I'll go look because I don't trust you. And then he kills himself.
Yeah. So then Lauren's like, I don't want to go out treading water. And she just takes off.
Which I was like, that is the dumbest idea I've ever heard in my life.
I don't know if it is. Like,
I like it.
Yeah, but okay. They've been drifting in this water. I was going to say adrift, but I can't do it. They've been drifting in this water for so long, dealing with dumb bullshit and everything, they would have no idea what direction they're in.
Yeah.
No, she pauses and knows that, but she just goes like, I'm either gonna go swimming or I'm not gonna stay here with this
But I
bullshit.
mean, yeah, but she could have been swimming out into who fucking knows
But
where.
in San Diego, you have an advantage over
they're
where
not
they were
in
in the
San
last.
Diego.
It's in Mexico.
It's supposed to be in Mexico?
Did you not see the crazy cut after the flashback video scene where it's like, Mexico 5 years later? And you're like, oh fuck, are they in prison?
Well, but okay, so even if you are in Mexico, you still know what direction the sun is going to go down in, right?
I didn't realize what time of day it was in the
Yes.
scene.
Yeah,
but...
no, yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
Whereas
she
if
can
you were
swim
in the
towards them.
Caribbean, like the other one, they
But I'm
wouldn't
saying-
really know what
I
way the
guess,
sun
but,
was.
yeah,
Yeah.
that's
like-
No, I that's not dumb to me. Like,
As
I
long as
totally
you are
get it.
aware of all this information in a high-stress situation, which you might not be.
You don't know what way the sun goes down?
Well, yeah, you might know what way the sun goes down, but do you know where you are in relation to the coastline?
You just
Look at the sun.
depending on which side of Mexico you're on.
Yeah.
Which I imagine.
I'm just saying, like,
you're heading east.
They didn't drift
but in that situation, I'm saying in that
swim
situation,
east.
I'm saying
You
in that
swim
switch, in that situation, you have to think about all that shit,
Right.
and then hope you're swimming the right direction.
No, you just swim east.
Okay,
Swim
I'm gonna
away
put you in
from
that
the
situation
sun.
tomorrow and
If
see
you're
how you
in-
do.
if
And I would do that.
If you started in the Pacific Ocean, go away from the sun if you want to get back to shore.
Okay.
To California and Mexico's shore.
Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Justin, now I'm concerned about your survival skills here.
I'd like to see you guys survive.
Well, I probably would have survived better than these people.
I'm gonna stay on the boat or put the ladder down.
For her,
That's not what we're...
she doesn't give a shit. Like, she'd rather, like, she can't stay next to Dan.
Yeah.
He killed
Her
them.
husband.
No.
Or her boyfriend, sorry.
Nope.
What?
No. They
They're
weren't
just friends?
They weren't dating, and he...
Did
when
you
he-
watch the film?
When,
I
when
thought
he,
they were together.
No, when he died, he admitted that he loved her.
Yeah, he was
Oh,
professing
God.
his long-held secret love for her.
I thought they were already married and he was just like,
No.
oh, I love you.
No.
Sorry. Oh, well.
And so she was just like, like, I can't stay here. Like, I have to
Do
get
something.
there. Yeah,
Literally
do something.
anything.
Yeah, and then she looks around in a I'm not sure where I am fashion and swims off into who knows where.
Not before coming back to hug Amy.
No, yeah, she hesitates for. I mean, she knows she's going to die, but she's like, I'm choosing to do it this way.
Yeah.
More than Michelle or the other two people in the first movie.
And then she definitely dies.
We don't know that.
Oh no, I know.
We don't.
She's the only one that's unambiguous.
I saw
Oh wait,
the-
no, that's not true at all.
Literally all of them are. The night begins to fall. Rain is falling.
A fun
James passes away.
A fun thing about this is that it's one of the only movies that storm comes at sea and it's seen as a positive.
Because they were like, we can drink water.
Yeah, they get
Oh,
fresh water they can drink.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's true.
that's true.
But there's a dumb thing where, like, apparently Dan is going to be able to find the knife, that they dropped.
So he keeps trying.
Yeah.
But, like, excuse me. Is it like a knife that floats, or...
Yeah, I mean, dive knives float. But...
Okay, but he keeps diving down like he can see the bottom of the ocean or something, which
Yeah,
maybe he could where he was, but
I think the whole point of it is it's a futile thing for him to do. He's
Yeah.
trying, like, he's off, away from the boat, trying to make it up because, like, he's actually killed his friend, and 3 people have died because of his dumb bullshit at this point, and so he's like, if I find the knife, like, I can redeem myself or whatever. And everyone else is dead except for Amy and Dan.
Yeah, Amy lets go of her husband. He floats away also. Dan gets frustrated and starts hitting the goggles on the boat.
Yeah.
And they break.
Yeah.
And so then he realizes he can use the front pane of the goggles to wedge into that little tiny hole from before.
If he had just let Zach use the
I know.
goddamn knife.
Yeah. They could have stabbed like a bunch of holes and like rock climbed
Yeah,
up the side of the
totally,
boat.
totally.
Like, so stupid.
So Amy gets back on the boat.
She climbs on his
Dan-
hand, which is
Dan-
extremely painful.
Yeah, Dan goes through a lot of pain to allow
He holds
Amy to
onto
run
the
boat.
goggles and
Yep.
she steps onto it like a step.
Yep. And then Dan decides that he's not worth it.
She, like, hits the ladder button. Boom!
Yeah.
Ladder! And it's, like, the slowest ladder ever, like,
It's electric, I should say.
But her baby's crying, and so she runs down.
Which is reasonable. She wants to get to the baby as soon
Absolutely,
as possible.
absolutely.
Yeah, but then she ostensibly feeds it, and they cut that part
She
out.
feeds
and then
it?
they take a nap. Like, I'm assuming she fed it. She picked it up off the ground and then got in the
Which
bed. It
I
kind
do-
of cuts and then it shows them like taking a nap.
I do appreciate that it's not like, oh, the baby's in the bed. It's like the baby was on the ground. Like, it was not a good situation.
Yeah, there's
Yeah.
a storm.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, things like, so. Yeah, it's basically
Isn't that the first thing you would do? Is feed it, pick it up, and then feed it.
I just don't think
the
there was
the movie's ambiguous, but basically she's not really concerned what the
She
fuck
just
Dan's up
assumed
to.
that he climbed back up there, like
Yeah.
which is
safe to
accurate,
assume.
yeah.
And after her husband's dead, like, she doesn't need to necessarily double check on that much.
Yeah.
yeah. I just think like there wasn't enough time, so he's like sitting right there as the ladder's going down. She goes underneath to check on the baby, and then moments later she's like, "Where's Dan? He hasn't come in to see what's going on yet. Where's Dan?"
I felt like it was quite some time later.
Yeah, but when she comes back up to see where
He's
he
not
is,
that far away.
He's not
Yeah.
very far away, and if he was just like, "I'm gonna go die," he would have
Yeah.
either been dead or really far away.
Yeah.
So he's not that far away, so it makes me feel like it was mere moments later, and maybe she just like very quickly checked on the baby, and it was just a bad edit or something.
Yeah.
But she goes back up and's like screaming for Dan, sees that he's still like, I don't know, pretty good.
50 yards.
Yeah, 50 yards away from the boat or so. But she can still see him, and she's yelling. It's still raining. And I'm like, are you fucking kidding me? She's going to try to save this guy?
She pulls out a life preserver. We suffer through a giant flashback of like, and she overcomes her fears, jumps over to try to save Dan.
It's so stupid. He should like.
It's so dumb.
Once you thought the life preserver, I feel like you've done your due diligence. He can come toward it if he wants.
Yeah.
If he really doesn't want to, let him die. Don't get back in the water.
So,
I mean, if he's going through shock, it's I don't know. Like, that dude
whatever.
sucks.
It's his fault. Everyone's dead.
Yeah, it is. It is. And she's, but this is my friend, and like, I think I'm gonna go overcome my fear and save him.
So, like...
So I don't even know what happened after this.
So it ends on her, like, grabbing Dan in the water, and it cuts to...
It's an intercut of the flashback of her dad dying, and like, it's this whole, and it's kind of ambiguous of like who's who and where and what time is what.
It looks like she's saving Dan, and you're like, oh, sweet, she saved him. And then it, like, flash cuts to daytime. You see that there's another boat coming up on our Godspeed yacht. It's a fucking yacht, Tyler.
It's a fucking yacht.
It's a
which
yacht.
Which is the thing that Dan insists upon throughout the entire movie.
So there's this, like, fisherman coming up to the boat. He's
like recycling trash from the ocean. Like, his boat's covered with
Salvage.
plastic.
Yeah, he drives around he's like driving around the boat, and he's like looking out.
You
at
can
it.
hear the baby crying.
Yeah, you hear the baby crying, and there's very, very clear shots of the top of the boat,
Nobody's
the
on
deck
it.
of the boat. Nobody's on the boat. You can hear the baby, and you can
hear the engine of the boat.
Yeah, you can see he's in shock, and then it shows like a wide shot of the boat, of the fisherman's boat circling the yacht.
Flash
And then-
to white.
But we never know if he got on the boat.
Yeah,
Flash to white.
and that's not the end, you guys. Then it cuts to a scene of Amy kind of like looking off in the distance, and she's on the yacht. She's looking off.
But the boat engine audio has cut out and the baby crying.
Yeah, there's no baby
I think
crying.
her hair was dry too.
Yeah,
It was.
she's
Yeah.
like looking off like, wow, I survived. And then also you see that Dan is lying
like, face
down.
down
on the boat.
But with his butt very
Yes.
covered.
Butt covered.
Even though they showed it already in the water.
Respectfully
Yeah,
covered.
once he dies, you gotta cover that ass.
Well, if he was dead.
oh yeah.
Anyways, yeah, and it like shows her face like wistfully looking off in the distance, and then cut to black.
So, I think that's purgatory in this movie.
Okay.
That's one interpretation.
That's
Because there's a theological conversation that happens in this movie. We have to endure Michelle doing 3 minutes of the Lord's Prayer. And then Lauren, which we're assuming, she's like, well, there is no God. Like, nobody is like there is a theological debate that's in the middle of this movie.
which is like, what a bitch. Like, if someone's praying in a horrible situation, you don't say, there's no God. You know, just let them say the Lord's Prayer.
Ridiculous.
It's bad, but like I think again it plays into the thing I was talking about in the first one, where it's like, are these people that are in shock, or is it just ridiculous bad acting?
All right.
And so I think that they both die.
Okay, that's one interpretation.
I think that they both die. And
I would posit that if that's the case, it does not make the movie smarter or better. It makes it even
Dumber.
worse.
I'm not saying that
That
it's
is
good.
a dumb
So I
idea.
sort of had like the same interpretation that they were either in heaven or hell or purgatory, that they were dead.
No,
Yeah.
Adrift. It's purgatory.
They're dead. So that's what I originally got. But then
I'm not trying to make the argument this movie is good.
if you
I think
Google,
you
you
are.
start Googling, like honestly, if you type in Open Water 2 on Google, the auto fills are all like ending.
Yeah.
Confusing ending. Explain the ending.
What-
Like
my favorite interpretation of the ending that I read, that some guy was like, "Oh, these are the different reasons I heard."
Yeah.
His first one was like, "I read that the director shot 2 different endings for the film and just put them both at the end of the movie
That seems right.
and let the audience decide what
That
they thought
seems
happened."
like he put both
And
endings in the movie.
I think that's the most
yeah. I agree.
reasonable answer because it's so stupid. Like they.
Like this movie is it's even on
can't. I
it's on
can't.
some lists of the worst endings of
Yeah.
movies ever. Like
Why couldn't they just commit to one of the, like,
they're dead or they're alive.
yeah, I like it better that they died, because then
Yeah,
it's just
then
like,
the baby. Save the baby.
their
That's all I care
stupidity
about
is
with this baby.
confirmed, everyone died, she jumped back in the water even though she was saved, stupidity confirmed.
Also, like, the fact that she's jumping, like, the thing that I said before is like, oh, he's going through shock. There's lightning. Like, you don't jump in the fucking water. Like,
yeah.
It was yeah.
Dan's a real dumb fuck.
So the ending is crazy ambiguous for basically no reason.
Yes.
This poor baby though. It was very cute. I just had to lay in bed and cry for most of the movie.
Don't forget there's a baby on this boat.
Fun
Yeah.
fact, you guys, baby Sarah was played by 2 different babies.
Yeah.
Did you know that?
Is that all you were gonna say? Because I found out even more about them.
Oh shit, I only knew there were 2 babies.
So it was 2 twins named Luca and Matea Gabaretta. And this whole movie was filmed in Malta, we should say. So instead of getting actor babies, they're just like, let's get random babies, when we pull up to the shore. And so
That baby's a pro.
yeah. So it's Maltese, 2 twins from
The
Malta.
Maltese baby.
I don't know what it is.
The Maltese
Maltese. What do you say, Malton?
We need to get the Maltese
Anyways.
We gotta get the Maltese baby.
So there's 2 babies from Malta.
Give me Bogart. We need to steal the Maltese
So I wanted
baby.
to see if they had done
Yeah.
anything else after.
Eliz, where are they now?
So by the way, one's a boy and one's a girl. So
Blasphemy.
Yeah.
Wait, one of them was the Gerber baby?
No, one of them is a boy.
The Lindbergh baby?
So they used both a boy and a girl to play this girl.
Damn,
But
that's
anyways,
fucked
so
up.
the boy, Luca.
Wait,
he
this movie is not based on true events? These
I
are 2
know.
different babies?
Yeah.
What?
So the boy Luca is doing very well at the tennis academy in Malta. He's very
Oh.
promising. And Matea received a scholarship to go to a very prestigious summer ballet program.
I can't believe these things. This is information you could find.
I just Googled their names.
Did you get their 3rd grade report
You
cards?
can't hear it, but I'm shaking my head.
Because I tried to find out if they continued acting, but then when I Googled their
It
names,
was like 10 years ago.
no.
I mean, that's
There's
crazy
always
that
like fun facts like that.
yeah, you could just find that information about random fucking babies.
Yeah. Because like the tennis school posted on Facebook, like, congrats, Luca, you did
Yeah.
a great job, or whatever.
First baby to go to tennis school. They're still babies now. I don't know if you know this. Forever baby.
They're like 12. So
We're not children of men yet.
Yeah.
Can we talk about the music in this movie real quick?
Yeah,
You can.
yes, please.
During this film, I was like, if one goddamn other person starts singing Frere Jacques,
Oh yeah.
I'm gonna fucking murder the shit out of everybody. You're next to die.
Yeah, they, of course, the baby's favorite song is in the public domain.
Of course.
So,
Babies love public domain songs.
Yeah.
That's true.
It is a proven fact.
They just have a special power.
They
It's
can't digest the licensing
They're
fee.
Okay, whoa. Okay, so speaking of licensing fees, they sing Frere Jacques like 7 times in this film, and it's in the end credits somewhere. It says Frere Jacques. But I'm surprised you haven't mentioned this yet, Eliz. There is a point in this film where Dan sings "A Pirate's Life for Me."
wait, I missed that completely.
Oh my god, he's at the helm of the boat and he
Yes.
sings like, "Yo ho, a pirate's life for me," just like
I
that.
didn't notice that
and
at
I was
all.
like, Holy shit, did they spend all the money to license that song?
Did they? They
I
did
mean,
not even bother.
It was not listed in the end credits whether or not they licensed it.
Hans Horner, I'm sorry about the impending loss.
I'm
You
gonna
actually have to license it because there was another movie that used like a tiny little bit of Haunted Mansion, and they had to.
I know you have to license it
with
but
Eddie Murphy.
Maybe
did
no.
they license it? I know you have to, and you're supposed to.
So, well, because in Inside Out, when she has like this fantasy about the house being haunted, they play a tiny little bit of Haunted Mansion, and they had to put it in.
I feel like the fact that most of the songs in this film are by a band called Banana Fishbones, I don't think they had the money to license that song.
The family of recently deceased writer of Pirates of the Caribbean song Ex Atencio should sue Hans Hole.
He should.
Also, members of Banana Fishbones, please rate and like us on iTunes.
Speaking of Banana Fishbone, I was like,
Talk about their song.
Yeah, I was looking up this band. Okay, there's multiple songs of theirs in the episode, in the show, the movie, and I was
It's like a psychotic episode.
yeah, it's crazy. So this one song, there's a song really early on when they're driving to meet everybody, and they're like, the song's like, Godspeed, ba-da-da-da-da-ba, we're going Godspeed. And then like, you know, it's singing that song or whatever, and I'm like, this song sucks. But then later on, like shortly after the song stopped playing, they're like, all right, let's get on our yacht. And it's called Godspeed, and I was like, were they just fucking saying Godspeed in that last song?
Someone thought they were clever.
But even funnier, I looked up this band. Apparently, they're named after a song by The Cure called Banana Fishbones, which I didn't know about. But anyways, I think, this is unconfirmed, but on their German Wikipedia page, multiple members of the band also have the last name Horn. So I think that they're family members of the director, Hans Horn.
This whole time I was saying Hans Hole. Is it Horn?
Yeah, you're thinking of the snowman, Harry Hole. Golden Globe winner.
Oh my
the
god.
snowman.
That is a solid reference. So we're talking about the bad music in this movie is due to nepotism.
Yeah, I think so.
Oh,
and
good.
probably to save money on their budget. Because they had to spend all that money licensing A Pirate's Life for Me. Or Yoho, or whatever it's called. But anyways, this film uses Frere Jacques so many times, and it was crazy annoying. And then the film ends on this somber note of like, did they survive or not? And it plays like somber score through the beginning of the end credits.
As if you just watched a movie.
Yeah. A fucking movie.
movie.
And it's playing this somber score, and then all of a sudden I'm like, yes, this movie's done. No more Frere Jacques. No more Frere Jacques. And then all of a sudden, like this, exactly. This fucking like horror movie music box version of Frere
I would call
Jacques.
it a Danny Elfman children's
like
choir version.
All of a sudden it's like and then on top of that, a child starts singing.
Yeah.
Frere Jacques.
The baby
it's-
lived.
The baby lives.
And it's like
and went to tennis camp.
20 seconds of Frere Jacques, and then straight into, like, immediately when it's done, smash cut into another song for you at the end credits.
Banana bones.
Oh my god, we've been so far adrift. What the fuck are we doing?
Speaking of Hans Horn and his nepotism, this is unconfirmed, but in the trivia on IMDb, it says the movie was based on his personal experience because
Oh my god.
because
Hans Horn lied to
He's the-
co-eds and killed 4 of his best friends on his boss's
And
boat.
then made a movie about it?
Hans Horn,
Bad
follow up with us for an interview. We'd love to talk to you.
So it says
We'd
it was
love to.
based on his personal experiences and that while swimming, he often would swim slightly away from his friends and they thought he was weird and they would make fun of him. So that's why many times when Dan is shown swimming slightly farther away from his friends, that's based on Hans Horn's personal experience.
Hans, as a fellow weirdo, can't confirm.
That doesn't make any sense, but
It's
All
not
right.
because he was trying to keep the secret
Okay.
of the boat.
Let's drift away from Adrift.
Yeah,
Open
so what's
Water
the next
2.
one called?
Let's talk about Open Water 3.
yeah, oh wait,
Cage dive, cage match.
before we go, let's just go around.
One more final case for Dan.
Let's just go around. Yeah. How many blow up dolphins out of 10 would you give this film? Tyler?
You know, it's a tricky rating because blow-up dolphins are so near and dear to my heart. I think that the one thing that I've learned of this movie is that the eel in the first movie that they blamed their entire predicament on, we learned his name. His name is Dan. So
He's grown into a man.
He's growing into a man who sucks.
A Dan man.
I'm gonna give this movie 5 half-inflated dolphins out of 10.
Half inflated.
Oh, God.
So that ends up being kind of like
2.5.
I was gonna say like 3. Yeah. Eliz, what about you?
It's out of 10. I'll say 2.
Ooh, yeah. You know what? I'm gonna also go with 2 fully inflated, extra perky dolphins.
I think my rating started at 5, but as I was trying to climb aboard this episode, they deflated to 2.5.
I feel like we've drifted away from the main conversation.
No more puns. We're done. We're talking about 3. What do you think's gonna happen?
Okay, before we go on, the next film is called Open Water 3, Cage Dive.
Cage match.
I don't know anything about this movie.
I hope that Nicolas Cage is in it.
Oh, God.
Cage Dive. Yes.
Just when you thought this franchise couldn't get any worse.
No, that would be
Nicolas
so much
Cage
better.
comes.
What are you talking about?
I hate Nicolas Cage.
Okay, based on solely
This is different.
the name of the film and the poster I've seen, I think this is a aborted script version of 47 Meters Down. Came out the same year as that film.
Our most modern sequel, by the way. It's very exciting.
It came out literally like a month ago.
You guys, like, this is a movie where iOS 11 exists.
I know, everyone's like, all you talk about is old films.
Yeah.
That's what our friends sound like. Don't worry about it.
All our friends are Mickey Mouse clowns.
Yeah, and we're like, we're doing franchises that went on too long. We got to do old films. Well, I don't know any of these movies. Well, here's a brand new one. Wait, that was us talking, though.
That's right.
Wait, that's what you sound like?
That's right.
No, we do not sound like that.
This has gone off the rails.
Hey, that's
Cage
fine.
Dive.
So I think, they're going to go in a cage to see some sharks, and I think sharks will return to this film in a major way.
I will say that as much as I loved, just to sidetrack this conversation very, very quickly, I loved the practical sharks in the first movie, and I loved in this movie that it wasn't... Sharks are terrible and awful and evil, and like the ocean was indifferent enough to kill them. Like, I don't need to have sharks as a boogeyman. Like, they're not trying to fuck with us.
Yeah.
Like, Shark Week used to be really great at that. Respect sharks. They're not trying to fuck with you. They're not scary. Sharks are your friends.
Now all they want to do is race Michael Phelps.
That's right. Fuck you.
That's what they live for.
By the way, if we ever get to 10,000 subscribers, we'll do the Sharknado series.
Yeah! Boom, 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 boom. Eliz, what do you think Cage Dive is going to be about?
It's going to be about a cage dive with sharks, but I'm going to say more boobs, more
More
sex,
boobs. Ooh.
More
And,
boobs. That's gonna be difficult to
less
do.
babies, no babies on the next one.
I'm gonna say no babies.
No babies.
0 babies.
I think there's going to be...
Open Water 3 Cage Drive.
The cage has got a motor.
Drive Angry.
Drive Angry. You're on the
with
Nicolas Cage thing.
I know, that's where
I do think that the boob cake is going to make a return.
God,
a
the
comeback.
boob cake.
the recumbent boob cake.
The boob cake is going to make a comeback. Yeah, sorry.
There was a boob cake in this movie.
There was.
There
Yeah, we
was a
didn't even
30th
mention
birthday
that.
on a boat.
It said, "Happy birthday, breast wishes."
And then a character in the movie said, "That's funny."
Yeah. Great joke, writers. I mean, other character.
Oh my god, we need to end this immediately.
All right, well, okay. Thank you guys for listening. We love to have you every week. Eliz, where can our listeners reach out to us and have a conversation?
Hans Horn, if you're listening, and others, please email us at sequelrights@gmail.com, or you can tweet at us or follow us on Instagram at sequelrights, and then we are also on facebook.com/sequelrights.
And if you have your own forgot to put the ladder down moment, let us know. We'll talk about it, and we can prove to them that People do dumb shit all the time.
Thanks again for listening, and I gotta say thanks to my brother Jordan Camps for the theme at the top of the show.
Thanks, Jordan.
Thank you guys so much for being here. We love to hear from you. We've been hearing from lots of people lately, and we just really enjoy it. So reach out to us, and we will see you next week for Open Water 3 Cage Dive.
Oh, we need ratings. Rate, review, subscribe.
Cage Dive.
Flatter-woo in your dreams. Close your eyes and fall asleep. When you sleep, dream of me, and we'll fly above the sea. Flames like a burning flag in shame of the shore, and from my hand memories fly. Bits of ashes in the air, taking all away. Fluffy black winged butterflies on round, 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 round there, down into the sea, floating around where no one ever sleeps. Barbara, the Chevrolet, cruise along the beach with me. Let's go out, the evening's hard. Go round, 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 down the 7 miles to the beach. I caught fire in her smile. Fluffy black winged butterflies on round, round, round. Round, round, round there, down into the sea, floating around there, where no one ever sleeps. Godspeed, when you have to wave goodbye. Godspeed, it is time for you today. Godspeed, close your eyes and feel alright. Godspeed for you and I. When you have to wave goodbye, it is time for you today. Close your eyes and feel alright.